he lived on my street.
So, what I know a lot of you said you wanted to meet him in person. You never had the opportunity before, and that you would like to maybe ask him some questions. So what I'm going to do is tell you some of the things he's told me in the past, and then maybe you'll think of something else you might want to add. So anytime you want to say something, you just pipe up and say it, okay? First of all, I'd like to pass around this picture. Here's Woodrow, and this is his father's store, which he says he's been in that building all of his life, and he just about has. So yeah. I will pass this around. Woodrow, I'm not quite sure where your family was living when you were born. Were you at Newbridge?
I was at Newbridge.
Newbridge.
Right, that's right down on the river there.
It was originally called Leathers Ford.
Leathers Ford,
some of you may know
later Newbridge. They had a power plant there, which furnished the power for Gainesville. That's before Dahlonega ever had any lights. And I remember there's about 5 or 6 families who lived there. Their husbands that worked for the power plant there. And
so you had electricity.
Yeah, we did. My dad, he had a general merchandise store, and there's a cotton gin there, and a blacksmith shop. I think he was a jack of all trades. So, yeah, that's where Gainesville got their lights long before we did.
Before Dahlonega did.
Yeah,
but the power was generated in Lumpkin County.
Bob Hauser's the one that furnished the lights in Dahlonega from Cane Creek Falls. I believe that's correct.
But the power that Gainesville had was generated in Lumpkin County on the Chester T. River.
Right.
Well, then you all moved to Nimbleville. I remember you telling me. Why did you move to Nimbleville?
Well, my mother and my oldest sister got typhoid fever, and that river down there was always a big river there. They said it's caused from that river. So my dad started looking for another place to go, and some man who used to live in downtown Dahlonega had built a home up in Nimbleville, 10-room house, and he came down and talked with my dad to see if he'd be interested in buying it. Of course, Papa talked with him, and he bought that. I don't remember a whole lot because I was only about 7 years old then, but I can remember it better back then than I can now.
Can you all hear back there?
Yeah. And we, let's see, what did we do up there? Well, we had a general merchandise store up there.
This is in Nimbleville.
Nimbleville, right. And Papa had a sawmill, and he also had a blacksmith shop. He had a guy that worked in that. And Mama usually kept the store because Papa had to be with the hands at the sawmill. So
he was an undertaker too, wasn't he?
Pardon?
Wasn't your father?
Well, you know, back then they didn't have any undertakers or morticians in Lumpkin County. So Papa was the undertaker, and Mama was the lady attendant. And see, Papa had he sawed timber, and he and a couple other guys made the caskets, and he and Mama, they do that in their store. We had a big store building there, and after they finished the casket, Mama she kept a lot of materials in the store there to make clothes for the women or children who passed away that didn't have anything to be buried in. And she would line the caskets. She kept a lot of, like, you know, satin stuff and stuff like that, and laces. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful casket. But the only thing about it was scary to me. Back then they covered them in black and had silver handles, and it's so scary looking. I'm so glad to see them change to gray and other colors.